holds the ball up.
I'm really excited about this battle, David. 3 times they've met this year, 2 wins to Ellenbrook, 1 to St Norbert's, and we're throwing it up for action in the 2012 Grand Final.
And away we go. St Norbert's with the early clearance. They kick it down, and come on, my face straight away. We talked about him, and he passes down to good defensive mark by Nate Barr. Solid back there.
Barr, just a nice kick out of the defensive 50, going down the wing to Hawthorn, who's a great inclusion this year into this side, kicks long down the wing as well. There's a few players down there that'll be hoping for the boundary line. It's gone out just in front of Glanville. The umpires aren't as quick this year, David Van Roo. I don't know if you noticed on that. Taking a little bit of time, and I hope they speed it up because I don't have all day.
Well, I've picked up on that already, Adam. I totally agree. And Hugh Jas, well, he's an experienced umpire, but he will have to get these boys moving. Boundary throw in now, and we've got a free kick going the way of the Ellenbrook Eels, and that's big Luke Hurley, who was a big performer in last year's grand final.
It's actually Brian Anderson. They've just mixed it up there. Luke Hurley did come up third over top, but Anderson's got the free kick. He brings it in long to their forward 50. There's a few numbers around the ball here. Looks like St Norbert's cleared out. No, Ellenbrook's got it again. Is that Rutherford who's just put that into the forward line?
Certainly was. And yes, I know that was Brian. I was talking about Luke was in the shot. And ball just taken over the boundary line.
Very scrappy start to this game so far, Van Roo. What are your thoughts at the moment?
Well, it's the way grand finals always start, isn't it, Adam? They are very scrappy to begin with, and they tend to open up as the players' legs get a little bit heavy.
Thrown back in. I think St Norbert's won that. Colin Oscarby's got the pick out there. He's looking for Bendover. Couldn't find him, but instead Harry Anus has managed to get to the front of the pack. He's still playing with it, Harry Anus. He just needs to pull his finger out and get it out here. He's looking for the boundary line. And he's managed to find it, Harry Anus. That's a great work by him. Paul Smoker was just hovering around the pack, but he did get it out. And we're going to have a boundary throw in just near the Ellenbrook's offensive 50-metre arc.
Okay, Paul Smoker going up here against Luke Hurley this time. No, it's Brian again, sorry. They do look very similar from this distance.
Very hard to tell from the distance. Very scrappy. I'd say Bishop would be on the bottom of the pack there. I can't say, but you know he's always around at this time.
He's always on the bottom of the pack. Just a shot of the crowd there. Good crowd in today.
Tuckwell starting on the bench. Very interesting.
Oh, there's one of last year's players, retiree.
He did start very well last year in the grand final, Tuckwell. Surprised to see him over there. It's a big hit forward. Who's that? Hamilton over the back. He's going to put him inside 50 here, Ellenbrook. He's kicked it lace out. It's been fumbled a little bit there by Mitchinary. Free kick. Don't know where it's been pulled.
And that's Kyle.
It's gone to Hicks.
Kyle Hicks.
Hicks here. He's
predicting a big game from Kyle.
He's about 50 out here. What's he going to do? He's done the pass. It's a good looking ball inside 50. It's a grab. Kappa's taken that. I haven't seen delivery like that since FedEx came this morning. That is a great way for the Ellenbrook Eels to start.
Well, he's a solid player.
Captain.
He'll give you everything. He is the skipper. I think you incorrectly called Shane Glanville the skipper earlier, Adam, but it's actually Paul Kappa. And let's just see if he can live up to his name and cap this one off. Lines up, and I think he's just pushed it right.
You'd be filthy if you're on him for first goal because he was paying a nice $17 and you would have backed him from there.
Definitely would have backed him from there. He is a solid kick normally.
I'm really interested to see how Ivor Smallcock kicks this one out because he's been very strategic this year. He's gone the long roost. He is very long kick, Ivor Smallcock.
Hasn't worked. The Eels have just turned it over once again. They got another shot on goal through Pat Casey.
And he's been the informed full forward this year for them, kicked multiple goals and has really held this forward line up. He's going to need a big game today, and it's a slide angle here, but you'd want to back him in as the full forward of the Ellenbrook Eels.
Well, his nickname used to be Pat 1 goal. However, after this season, they're going to have to change it to Pat 44 goals.
I'd hope he kicks more than 1 goal today. Definitely need that, and it looks like he's also pushed that. David, you were out on the ground earlier. Was there a bit of wind or anything we can discuss?
There was a little bit of wind, Adam. It was pushing to the right at that end, so the boys are just a little bit slow to pick up on that. I think they will get used to it as the game goes on.
Ivor Smallcock managed to find Wilma Fingerdo, another one of Miranda's players who managed to come across the St Norbert's in an active trade for 2012. At the moment, Rutherford's managed to get in the middle for the Eels. He's looked forward and has found Bishop
Carl
there.
Bishop.
Big
Mr.
game for
Reliable.
Carl Bishop you picked. He's got a few options. He's always quick to get back, and he's kicked that. That's a textbook kick from Bishop, and he has found Hawthorn, who's just managed to get the ball inside 50. I think he'd back himself from this distance, Van Rout. What are your thoughts?
Well, he's not looking confident. He's looking for the pass, I think, and Susie spotted out wide.
Robertson
Robertson.
wide.
Well, why wouldn't you look for Robertson? He is a big game player.
Robertson, the medalist from last year. You'd hope he has another big one. Who's that? Ivor Smallcock's managed to find it. Just clear it out there in front of Harry Anus. Or is the umpire huge ass not on that one?
Oh, huge ass. Come on. That was deliberate if I've ever seen it.
I think he was very close to colonoscopy there. Throwing back in. Hurley was in this ruck contest. St. Norman's managed to get the hands out. Hawthorn's crumbed it, but beautifully. He's given the hands to Glanville, who snapped over the body. There's a few players running at this. Don't know who's got. I think that was Casey there with the hands. To Carl Bishop again.
Good.
Alan Robertson in the goal square.
Here.
Left foot. Alan Robertson, he kicked a few left footers last year.
Bang.
He's done it again. He started with a left foot goal. A great start for the Ellenbrook Eels.
Well, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Electric, he really is the electric eel, isn't he, Alan Robertson? And bounced down again. Huge ass, got the ball back quickly that time. Luke Hurley, big punch out of the centre. A little bit scrappy still.
Very hard to see.
Oh, that was Bendover. Bendover's moved to the middle now, and he's had a fair bit of the ball to start with early.
Always puts his head in, Bendover.
He does.
It looks like we're going to have another throw up in the middle, so very tightly contested game at the moment. At the moment, Ellenbrook are the only team pushing forward, but they haven't put a lot of score on the board yet. Hurley up in the ruck. Over the top comes Ivor Smallcock. You don't normally see that from him, but a good punch away. It's come to who we got there? Bendover. But Ellenbrook have won that back.
Oh, hand job just forcing it out of the out the boundary there,
I
and
expect
it's
big
going to be a
things from
throw.
hand job as well today, David. He's had a very big season. I think he's polled very well in the association.
Yes, he always does pole well. He stands out, and a big punch away. Bendover again. He's doing it all. Picked up into the attacking half for St. Norbert's now. Good defence from the Eels.
Mitchinary putting a lot of pressure there. He's managed to come through with it too, Mitchinary. That's great work. He's looked for calm on my face, but instead he's decided to go the goal, and it's a behind for St. Norbert's, and that's their first score for the 2012 Grand Final. But good signs for them with Mitchinary and calm on my face getting the ball early, David.
Well, it is. A bit of a turnover here. The Eels doing all the attacking at the moment, but this could be costly.
Good kick out, Alan Robertson, but safe hands, manages mark and defensive 50. He'll be looking for someone to lead up on the wing here. Great pass by Robertson. You expect nothing less. It's been punched down. Can't see with St. Norbert's Waterway. Get out the way, mate. We're trying to commentate a game here. He's kicked it down towards the forward 50. And Ivor Smallcock, he's had a lot of ball to start. Ivor Smallcock, he is everywhere at the moment.
Well, that's because the ball's been predominantly in the Eels half, Adam. He's having to defend a lot. However, they're in trouble again because snapshot around the corner.
By Porter.
That's got to be over the shoulder. Come on, huge ass. What are you doing, son?
I think he was again stuck behind Mitchinary this time. He's really got to start getting out in the open.
Shot from the pocket,
that?
and that looks like another goal to the Eels. Well, now you have started on fire.
That was a great kick. I'm not sure who that was, David. Did you end up seeing who that was?
I didn't see. I think huge ass was in my way again.
He's just got to start switching on. Huge ass throws it up. Hurley against Harry Anus.
Crashes into him.
Oh, Anus felt that one.
Eels into attack again.
They are smashing them at the moment, and they're putting on the scoreboard now with 2 early goals, which is what you expect.
Well, I'm going to put this down early, Adam, and say this is going to be a 100-point victory to the Eels at this rate.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because in round 14, Ellenbrook did win 117-39, and you hope that doesn't happen in grand final days, but when it's happened during the season, it's always a chance in the big dance.
Well, it is, but I disagree. I think it would be great for the game if the Eels won by 100 points. And now look, into attack again, and this is Patrick Casey lining up for goal once more.
Luke Hurley's been instrumental to start. That raking left foot of his has really hit targets, is what they need. Casey passing it off, a weird decision from the full forward, but he has found a target in
Jared Hawthorn again.
A little bit wider out, so I would have thought Patrick Casey would have gone for it, but he's not a selfish footballer. If he sees someone leading the pocket, he's going to. And Jared Hawthorn, experienced player who's played a little bit through the league this year, and he's a great set shot. What's your thought on this one? I think he's going to struggle.
Yeah, it's not his forte kicking for goals. He is just a great possession winner and a hard nut around the ball, but unfortunately shots on goal, and there you are. Not his forte, however, he will still have a big influence on this game, even if he's not hitting the scoreboard. Don't worry about that.
I've heard Stilrioli actually went to Ellenbrook to learn Jared Hawthorn's sidestep, so pretty good honours for him there.
Yeah, well, Mike's cousin Carmichael Hunt actually also got a few tips because he's quite well known for his sidestep as well.
We'll talk about coincidence. Mike Hunt just had the ball in hand and he's found Ivor Smallcock. So Hunt and Smallcock working well together there, and you'd hope that they get a lot of the ball this year because we saw last year how instrumental Mike Hunt was. He's kicked it up to Bendover, and Bendover has started well. He's just fumbling with it a little bit. He's kicked down the line, looking for colonoscopy. He's met it out hard, colonoscopy. That's great work. Bendover's got the hands back. He's looking for Wilmer Finger doing the forward line. It's gone up in the air. Wilmer Finger has got it played on straight away. Great football by St. Norbert's. Wilmer Finger.
That's bouncing through.
It's bouncing. It's a third. No, what's happened there? It's bounced back.
Well.
Calm on my face.
Can you believe that? Hand job just started it off and come on my face, finished it.
Harry Anus didn't look happy there, but come on my face just showed him the ball and's done it, kicked the goal.
Hugh Jars throws the ball up again, and here we go, another bounce down. St. Norbert's, they're starting to get the ascendancy now. Well, maybe my predictions of a 100-point win could have been a little bit premature.
Paul Smoker there, he's just put it inside 50. Great attack by all players.
Well, this could be another one.
Harry Anus has snapped it again on the left foot. You don't often see Harry Anus using his left, David.
Well, he's not a real smart man, Harry Anus. However, he did tell me once, left foot, right foot, it doesn't matter to him. He's amphibious.
And how quick were the umpires then? That was almost 2011-ish, Van Rout. They've just thrown it up. We didn't even get time to have a breather then. There was a pie just came in the room with a little bit of sauce I was hoping to dip into. No chance. And we're having some technical difficulties. We seem to have lost David Van Rout, so I'm going solo.
Well, the same thing happened last year, Adam. The producer just needs to sort this out, I think.
Yeah, we don't want to mention him because he is trying some big gigs at the moment, but just struggling with a few audio issues here. Can't see at all who's got the ball.
On the far side of St. Norbert's. They really have lifted their efforts now.
Is that Wendy Windass?
I think that could have been.
Strange name for football, Wendy Windass.
And here's up to my wrist. Well, we've been expecting a big game from him, and here he is just starting, and it looks like he's got 50 metres too. Up to my wrist.
Very similar player to Harry Anus.
He is. They look very similar as well. But Hugh Jars just saw a little infringement there against up to my wrist, and he's picked up on it and awarded the 50 metres. Now he's going to line up for goal, and let's see if he can pop this through and potentially put St. Norbert's in the lead.
I hope that they work together today, because during this season, Up to My Arse has been right up Harry Anus sometimes, and it's not a pretty sight when those two are going at it. Up to My Wrist has put it forward there, and he has kicked it to Harry Anus, so obviously they're on good terms at the moment.
Great chase down and tackle from Callum White, but it might have been just a touch too late.
Great finish there by Poonam Shithole.
Poonam Shithole has slotted that from the pocket. That's a very good goal, and he run off. He's celebrated. He's put the finger up. The umpire's Hugh Jars, and he's ready to go.
And as you said, a great chase by Callum White there, 32. And although it didn't change the outcome, they'll be very happy with that kind of effort from an experienced campaigner.
He is an experienced campaigner, Callum White. He's been around since Jesus played fullback for Jerusalem.
And Up to My Wrist, I'm glad we brought him up. We were hoping to talk about him a little bit more. He was the African player they got in the trade as well. They've been scouting a few people, St. Norbert's, and sent him over from Africa. He's built up, got a little bit more muscle. He was predominantly just ran a lot and ate a lot of rice in Africa, but now he's a lot fitter and a lot more solid. And Ellenbrook have got the clearance there, and it's going to be thrown up in there attacking 50.
Well, while we're on that, Adam, they have been quite creative with their recruiting this year, St. Norbert's. They've also been to Russia, and they brought in, of course, the first Russian into the game of AFL, Ivana Sakharov. Okay, ball just socket out onto the wing now. There he is there. Speak of the devil, and the devil appears. There's Ivana Sakharov. Carl Bishop on the bottom of the pack. Once again, look at him fight it out. Sakharov gets up, handballs it back. That's good play.
It's a great handball by a Russian as well.